The following is a live presentation of Retro Sports Network, home of the champions of the past, present, and or future. Good morning, afternoon, evening. My name is Ron Juckett. Welcome to the program for this 17th day of April 2025. We're with you on a Thursday for the last one of the week. And we have ourselves a little bit of a change in the National League. The Braves' stranglehold on first place has disappeared. They still have games at hand on Brooklyn, but if you're going to play Brooklyn, you got to beat Brooklyn. And as we showed you the last couple weeks, Milwaukee just wasn't beating Brooklyn. And you knew the Braves weren't going to play 850 ball forever, and they're playing 660 ball, and so are the Dodgers, who are in first place. So the Dodgers get a Friday night game at home versus the Cincinnati Redlegs, who find themselves 7 games out of first place as we go into this one. As we get into the meat of the schedule, we have finally crossed into the summer of 56, and the boys of summer are about to come your way. So Sal Magley gets the call for the Dodgers. The Redlegs just kind of need this one pretty badly. They got to get into the hunt and make the Dodgers start to sweat a bit, because I think when all is said and done, we do that the Dodgers have the experience, the Braves might have the numbers, but the Reds have the power. And they can still, in real life, they finish within 5 games of first place. It's the Dodgers kind of have it in their hands right now. Come on, you can. There we go. As Retro Sports Network presents Major League Replay 1956. Today, from Ebbets Field in Brooklyn, New York, it is the Brooklyn Dodgers and the Cincinnati Redlegs. And today's game is brought to you by DigitalDice.com, the best darn podcast on the web for your sports simulation and replay needs. Find us today on Spotify, Spreaker, iTunes, or wherever else fine podcasts are listed. And it will be Sal Magley on the mound for the Dodgers. They are 37-18 on this absolutely drop-dead gorgeous night at Ebbets Field. The Redlegs are 31-26 coming into this one. And Magley, we've had a number of his starts. This is his 5th start since coming over from Cleveland. 3-2 with a 5.79 ERA. That's the bad news if you're a Dodgers fan. 39 years old, fastball at a Bugs Bunny 82, which is appropriate coming into this Easter weekend, and a fly ball pitcher. We seem to be getting a lot of his and Herb Score's starts. He faced the Braves on the 15th of June, 7 days ago, so he's on a full week's rest. In a 3-2 win, he went the distance, 10 innings, 126 pitches, 5 hits, 2 runs, both earned, a home run. He walked 1 and struck out 3. The Reds beat him on June 9th. In fact, they put a 9 spot on him. That was the game with the bad patch, but they still hit 3 home runs. 32 2/3 for Magley, 30 hits, 21 runs, all earned, the 5 homers. He has walked 13, and that will get better as we go along, and striking out 15. Remember, most of that came with the 1 game with a patch. So in Magley's last 3 starts, he's faced the Braves twice and the Reds once. Talking about going from the frying pan right into the fire. Here's how the Cincinnati Redlegs will line up. Johnny Temple leads off at second. Wally Post in right will bat second. Gus Bell in center goes third. Ted Kluszewski is at first. Big Clue cleans up. Frank Robinson in left will bat fifth. Again, that's a powerful lineup. Post with 36 homers, Bell with 29, Kluszewski with 35, and Robinson with 38. That is bang, 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 bang. Ed Bailey had 28 himself in real life. He's behind the plate batting 6th. Ray Jablonski at third will bat 7th. Roy McMillan at short goes 8th, and Brooks Lawrence gets the call for the Redlegs. He'll bat 9th. Magley can give you 145 pitches. The Dodgers defensively, Randy Jackson is at third. He's a 6. Don Zimmer Wow, Popeye is at short. He's a 3 and a 2, so Pee Wee Reese getting the day off. Jackie Robinson, we haven't really seen him much at second base. In fact, I think it's the first time all year we've seen him at second base. He is a 6 and an 8 there. And Rocky Nelson is a 4 at first. So no Pee Wee, no Gil Hodges today. In left field is Jim Gilliam. He is a 6 and a 6. Duke Snyder, who is just tearing the cover off the ball, an 8 and a 7 in center. And Carl Furillo, again, criminally underrated. He's a 6 and a 10 in right. Roy Campanella, a perfect 10 and a 10 behind the plate. And Magley is a 7 on the mound with a 1,000 fielding percentage. So that's the setup for you. Johnny Temple at 293, 2 homers, and 19 RBI. You could not ask for a nicer Friday night in Brooklyn. It's 82 degrees. The wind's blowing from right to left at 4, and you can almost see a star in the sky in the New York skyline. So with all that, we are ready to go. Pitch to Temple to start the ball game, and Magley got a strikeout. Temple chased one out on 3 pitches. That's pretty good. Here's Wally Post. Wally at 296, 14 homers and 37 RBI. Magley winds and fires. Post sends this one into left center. Gilliam will run it down, 2 out. For Gus Bell at 259, 14 homers and 54 RBI. It's kind of almost like what you would have seen from an Orioles or a Red Sox team or a Dodger team in the 70s. There really isn't any weak spots in that lineup for Cincinnati outside of the pitching spot. I mean, Jablonski's hitting 225. McMillan isn't going to hit it for power, but he is hitting 278. Jeremiah picking Clue to go deep. Okay, pitch to Bell. Gus grounds this one past Nelson into right field. Furillo's going to have to go chase that down, and he's going to hold Bell to a single. Excuse me. So 2 out for Big Clue, who has a 6.6% chance of going deep right here. Hitting 260, 12 home runs and 35 rather. Jumping the gun, Jeremiah. RBI. Magley deals, and that is not a home run. It is a ground ball to Jackson. Randy goes to Robinson at second, and that will retire the side. Red Legs get a hit, and that's it. They leave on the runner. After half an inning, it's Cincinnati nothing. Here come the Dodgers. So here's Brooks Lawrence. 31 years old, making his 13th start of the season. 5-3, a 4.76 ERA. What is the 82 number? Let me try. I have my glasses on. Oh, you know what? I think that's the speed of the pitch, Jeremiah. It just tells you, 82 or 83. It tells you just how fast that pitch was. We try to avoid going into that because you wouldn't have known in 1956 what the speed of a pitch was. Lawrence last pitched on the 17th, so 5 days ago. He went the distance in a 5-1 win over the Giants, which some of our listeners or viewers would not argue is a major league team. I do not subscribe to that philosophy. 9 innings, 123 pitches, 7 hits, a solo home run. He walked 3 and struck out 3. And if you're a radiologist, if you look at those lists, his last 3 decisions, LW. Just saying. Brooks has gone 90 2/3 on the replay, 103 hits, 49 runs, 48 hits. He's allowed 12 homers. He has walked 29 and struck out 41. Dodgers will line up like this. Jim Gilliam leads off in left. Jackie Robinson will play second and bat second. Duke Snyder in center will go third. And then you kind of got Rocky Nelson there cleaning up at first base, although he does have some power. Randy Jackson will bat fifth and play third. Carl Furillo jumps up to sixth in the lineup today in right field. Roy Campanella behind the plate batting seventh. Bill Lee's boyhood hero, Don Zimmer, at short will go 8th. And Don looks like a strapping lad there. And Sal the Barber Magley going 9th. Brooks Lawrence can give you 140 pitches on the mound. Defensively for the Redlegs, Jablonski a 5 at third. McMillan a 10 and a 10 at short. Johnny Temple an 8 and a 9 in second. Klazewski is a 7 at first. Frank Robinson is a 9 and a 5 in left. Gus Bell is 6 range and a 6 arm in center. And if you're not familiar with Action PC, the higher the number, the better. Wally Post is a 5 and a 7 in right. Ed Bailey behind the plate is a 7 and a 6. And he's a 7, by the way, for the pass ball, which means he's better than average. And Brooks Lawrence is an 8 on the mound with a 971 fielding percentage. Gilliam at 287 on the replay, 2 homers and 23 RBI. Gilliam draws the walk. So that 86 there at the bottom of your screen is the speed of the pitch. But we ignore that because it does tell you, by the way, something in the game. So if you notice, and I'll put up Lawrence's numbers again, he throws a fastball around 84. So as his pitch count starts to climb, and in his case it's 140, let's say it's a 7th or 8th inning and he's been struggling. And so if you notice that pitch speed kind of getting into the high 70s, low 80s on the fastball, it does tell you that that is a sign of fatigue. And that's more than Jeremiah ever wanted to know about that. But he's a bullfrog, and his wine is not sold in a box. Jackie Robinson at 294, 8 home runs and 18 RBI. Gilliam on first. Robinson draws the walk. So first and second for the Dodgers and nobody out. For Duke Snider, who is having himself a career year with a 10-game hitting streak at the moment. He's hitting .374. He is on a triple crown. There you go. It's a mighty, mighty fine wine there, Jeremiah. His triple crown run, 25 home runs, and this is the Dodgers' 56th game of the year. He's driven in 59. And so if the Dodgers do win the National League, I mean, this is an MVP year from Snider. Joy to the world in the chat. How you doing, parallel girl? Joy to the fishes in the... I should do this as many. Joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea, and joy to you and me. Presented by Van Heusen Shirts. If you hit it in right center, you get a free suit. Pitch to Snider. And that's a walk. So Lawrence has him loaded. Speaking of Jeremiah was a bullfrog. And there is nobody out for Rocky Nelson. Hitting .349. 4 home runs in 43 at-bats and 11 RBI. So Gilliam on third, Robinson on second, and Snider on first. A single is going to score 2. That is up the middle. Past Lawrence. Temple, McMillan, they only are going to get Snider. The throw to first is late. Nelson's going to reach, and it's 1-0 Brooklyn. So Lawrence, who does not have pinpoint control, he's walked 71 in real life in 218 2/3. He's walked 32 and 91, found a bad time to let his control get away from him. So Robinson on third, Nelson on first for Randy Jackson, hitting .292, 5 homers and 21 RBI. So 1-0 Dodgers here. Bottom of the first, one out. Lawrence delivers. Jackson, this might be 2. McMillan. Web jam. Robinson's going to bolt home. McMillan. Temple for 1. Klazewski for 2. And he gets out of it. Are you kidding me? He walked the bases loaded, and the Dodgers can only get 1. What a play by McMillan. And even Hilda's got to ring the cowbell for that. Dodgers, a run. No hits, no errors. They leave on 1. And after one, it's Brooklyn 1, the Redlegs nothing. Goodness gracious. So, Madley to face Robinson, Bill Bailey, and Jablonski here in the second. Frank at 287. 18 homers and 42 RBI. Yep. Jeremiah said, I'm here, but Mama told me not to come. The ink is black and the page is white. We know who Midlife Crisis is rooting for. The Redlegs. Wow. So the Cincinnati's going to consider themselves incredibly lucky to have only given up one there. Robinson, we gave you his numbers. Magley starts the second, and Robinson draws the walk. Again, a drop-dead gorgeous night here in Brooklyn. Ed Bailey at 303, 9 homers and 23 RBI. I mean, 2 through 7 can just slam the ball at any point. There really is a lot of power here. Pitch to Bailey. There's a fly ball to right. That's down the line for Rillo. Is he going to be able to get there? I think so. Carl will make the catch, and Robinson has to go back. So 1 out for Jablonski. Ray at 225, 8 homers and 32 RBI. Is it a 3-dog night? Well, it's 81 degrees in Brooklyn. It's about 37 here. So not really, Jim. Pitch to Jablonski. Popped up. Zimmer. Waits for it. Makes the catch. This would have been one of the lineups for the Dodgers with Jackson and Zimmer and Nelson that you'd have expected to play at Roosevelt Field. Because the last 2 years, as the Dodgers tried to make clear to the city of New York that they weren't fooling, you either let us have our stadium in Brooklyn or we're going elsewhere, played a handful of games at Roosevelt Field in Jersey City. Now, I don't know which of those were. I think it was one game against the 7 other National League teams, but I mean, the infield of Jackson, Zimmer, Robinson, and Nelson isn't necessarily screaming Ebbets Field. McMillan at 278. Roy has 2 homers and 17 RBI. Is the weather historic? No, it is not. It is. It's based on a formula. What they do is there's averages and average humidities, and it's a random number generator that does it. That would be 30 cents in Cleveland. Yes. Yeah. Pitch to McMillan. There is a ground ball up the middle. Zimmer has it. Flips it to Robinson, and Robinson is retired. That's a pretty good combination. Jackie retiring Frank. Redlegs go down with a walk. No runs, no hits, no errors. They've left on 2, and we go to the bottom of the second. 1-0 Brooklyn. Furillo, Campanella, and Zimmer to face Lawrence here in the second. So you got what? Is Kluszewski in the Hall of Fame? You got Robinson in there for Cincinnati, so there's 1. You got 1, 2, at least 3 in the lineup today for Brooklyn. I mean, but we've talked about it. 4 or 5 for Brooklyn starting pretty much every day. And again, and Furillo hitting 364, 6 homers, and 33 RBI, is one of the better players not to be in. I don't know what his career numbers are. He played a long time. That goes into center. Bell makes the catch. 1 out for Campy. Roy at 224, 8 homers, and 30 RBI. 1 out, bottom of the second, 1-0 Dodgers. Pitch to Campy. That is a ground ball over the mound. Temple by the bag at second, over to Clue for the out. You know whose birthday it is today? It's I.D. Jester's birthday. He doesn't watch this, but happy birthday, I.D. As I was joking around earlier with Mr. Gardner, who was down in Connecticut to scope out where the con is going to be, that Hal Richmond is going to jump out of a cake for I.D. Don Zimmer is 2 for 7 on the replay. Went 6 for 20 in real life. Big Clue should be in there, like Tommy John. Yeah, no, absolutely. You would know. There's no one else in this lineup for Cincinnati that's in, right? Pitch to Zimmer. There is a ground ball up the middle for a base hit. In fact, that goes all the way to the wall, and Zim has a double. So that's the first hit for the Dodgers. Remember, Lawrence loaded the bases with walks in the first, but the Redlegs got a double play to get out of it. Here's Magley at 154, 2 for 13 with 2 RBI. And John's retracting messages already. Jeez. Pitch to Magley, and he walked him. So Lawrence's control, to paraphrase another 70s rock band, some kind of terrible. Opening 9 for Lawrence, just 33 pitches. That's the good news. Inning in 2/3, a hit, the run is earned, but he's walked 4, including Jim Gilliam, who scored the game's only run in the first. His wife would film every game. Oh, really? We're talking about Ted Kluszewski here. And he would break down his swing and study every pitcher. He literally started the idea of keeping a personalized book on every pitcher he faced and studied his swing, and that's such a modern part of the game. You can get into bailing out on the numbers and launch angles and stuff, but what John brings up is absolutely true. The fact that in real time that you can analyze your swing and analyze what the pitcher is throwing at you, whether he has good stuff or if he's throwing up a thing of Prince spaghetti and meatballs, gives you a huge advantage. Pitch to Gilliam, first and second for the Dodgers, popped up left side. Robinson goes back to the track, but Frank will make the catch, and that will retire the side. Dodgers get a hit, and they've left on 3 after 2, 1-0. Yeah, no, film, of course, because Kluszewski's wife could afford, in 1956, one of those brand new Ampex video recorders and the Iconoscope camera to go with it, because baseball players made the $250,000 a year to get all that stuff. I'm kidding. Lawrence is hitting .219. Brooks 7 for 32 with an RBI. So Lawrence, Temple, and Post to face Magley here in the third. But that's huge. That was huge. You know, one of the first to use computers to analyze all this stuff was Davey Johnson with the Mets in the mid-'80s. That is into left center. Gilliam will come in and make the catch. 1 out for Temple. Opening 9 for Magley, 34 pitches, 2 1/3, a hit, a walk, and a strikeout. Temple struck out his first time up. He has an 8-game hitting streak. That is going to be a base hit into right center field. Ferrillo will pick it up and hold. So the second hit for the Redlegs. 1 out for Wally Post, who's 0 for 1. Magley deals. Struck him out. That's 2 for Sal. And 0-2 hard fastball for Magley. Chased out of the zone. 2 out for Gus Bell, who singled his first time up. Magley's pitch. That's into left center. Snyder running a long way. Makes the catch to retire the side. So the Redlegs threaten but do not score. They get a hit, no runs, no errors. And after 2.5, it's the Dodgers 1, the Redlegs 0. For Robinson, Snyder, and Nelson. Now, Jackie Robinson, believe it or not, was not the last Dodger player ever to wear 42. He was the second Dodger player to wear 42. I'm going to blank on the name. I looked it up. But somebody wore it for the Dodgers in 1939. But somebody else absent-mindedly wore it for the Dodgers. Pitch to Robinson. There is a ground ball to Kluszewski. Ted has it, takes it to the bag for the out. So in 1969, A pitcher by the name of Ray Ward, only spent 2 years with the Dodgers, gets the call up, presumably from Albuquerque, although I can't verify that. Snyder walked his first time up. Comes in to be a relief pitcher for the Dodgers. Actually had a couple decent years in Cleveland. And so what number does the equipment manager hand him? But 42. When he reported to camp in 1970, they gave him another number. I mean, that's just nuts. So you could win a bar bet with that. The last Dodger player to wear 42 as an assigned number, we're not talking about everyone wearing 42 on April 15th, was Ray Ward. Pitch to Snyder. There's a fly ball right field. Back goes post. Wally will make the catch, and that is 2 out for Rocky Nelson, who has an RBI. I was just stunned when I saw that. And someone said you should bring that up on the show. And so I did. Nelson's 0 for 1. Rocky into right. Again, back goes post. That's better hit, but Wally will track it down, and that will retire the side. Dodgers go in order. We've played 3. It's Brooklyn 1, Cincinnati nothing. So Kluszewski, Robinson, and Bailey to face Magley here in the 4th. Ted is 0 for 1, and Jeremiah still has his bet that Big Clue overpowers one in this ballgame. Numbers trivia, what number did Ty Cobb wear? None, right? Not with the Tigers anywhere. Pitch to Kluszewski. There is a fly ball right field. Back goes Furillo, and that ball is gone. Jeremiah was a bullfrog. There we go. Here's my singing for the game. Joy to the world in Cincinnati. This one's tied. Big Clue hits his 13th down the line and right, and the Redlegs have tied this at 1. I sing and 3 people leave. How about that? Kluszewski just ripped that one down the line. And there was no question about that. I don't know if he wore one with the A's, whether Connie Mack would have sprung for numbers or not. So 1-1 the score as Kluszewski has homered. And that is how the Redlegs, if they are going to get back into it, Jeremiah was there, are going to do it. They are going to have to overpower teams, and they have the capability of doing that. Frank Robinson walked his first time up. Struck him out. That's 3 for Magley. He got him looking on an off-speed pitch, 1 away. For Ed Bailey, who is 0 for 1. And Bailey draws the walk. So Jeremiah gets the cookie of the day. You get an oatmeal cranberry cookie. Nummy nummy. Here's Ray Jablonski. He's 0 for 1. He never wore a number. Yeah, I can't. Mac was so late to everything that I didn't think the A's or the Athletics wore numbers. Do you know? Here's a question for you, gang. Who the first team was to wear names on the back of their jerseys? Pitch to Jablonski. Runner on first as Bailey and Magley gets the K. Jablonski chase, 2 out. So for Sal, that's 4. McMillan is 0 for 1. And that's 5. Magley, I think, got the side. 1 run, however, on the solo homer from Kluszewski. That's a lone hit and no errors. Bottom of the 4th here at Ebbets. Redlegs 1, Dodgers 1. So here are the standings. It was not the Reds. Brooklyn, a game and a half on Milwaukee. The Braves still have 3 in hand, but Brooklyn has caught fire. They're playing .673 ball. Then St. Louis, the Giants, who are still part of Major League Baseball, the Cubs, The Phillies and the Pirates are in dead last. National American League, Cleveland has reasserted control. 3.5 on the White Sox. You'll see them Monday against the Yankees. 3.5 up on Detroit. 5 up on Boston. The Yankees are 7.5 back. It would obviously not a done deal, but the longer they go under 500, the tougher it's going to be for Casey and his boys to win the league in 56. Washington and Baltimore 9 back, and Lenny Dawson, please report to Kansas City. Games you might have missed Thursday because we don't stream the Thursday games. Senators beat the A's 6-4. The Dodgers shut out behind Don Newcomb, St. Louis 6-0. Dave Gardner got 3 hits as Baltimore beat the White Sox 13-8. Cleveland continues to steamroll. They beat the Red Sox 3-1, and the Pirates beat the Braves in 11, 3-2. Randy Jackson, Carl Furillo, and Roy Campanella to face Lawrence here in the 4th. Randy 0 for 1. He grounded into a double play. That is a ground ball of McMillan. Roy will make that play 10 times out of 10. 1 out. For Furillo, who's 0 for 1. That is another slow chopper. McMillan, second verse, he hopes is the same as the first. Played that in between hops. Throw to Kluszewski, 2 out. For Campanella, who's 0 for 1. Lawrence winds and deals. And McMillan is going to get the hat trick here. So a trio of 6 threes, and the Dodgers go in order in the 4th. No runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the 5th here at Ebbets, 1-1. Do I remember what player had their birthday on their uniform? So somebody with, obviously born between January 1st and September 10th or 9th. Lawrence, by the way, 0 for 1. I don't know. You got me there. I got to turn on the fan. It's warm in here. Pitch to Lawrence. Popped up. Shortstops are busy right now. Zimmer waits for it. A rainmaker on this beautiful night on the grass, 1 out. Lee May? Johnny Temple, 1 for 2. He is singled and struck out. Magley, 18 batters, 74 pitches, 4 1/3. 3 hits, the homer from Kluszewski. He has walked 2 and struck out 5. Close. Would have to be somebody with a double-digit number, right? Jeremiah says Rudy May. One out. Pitch to Temple. There is a chopper to third. Randy has it. Yo, dog. Makes a great play because Temple has good legs. Throws to Nelson for the out. And there is 2 away. So Jackson will play 101 games. A good utility player for the Dodgers. Makes the play while he posts his 0 for 2 today with a strikeout. Wally popped up. Left side. Zimmer gives chase. But somebody from Bedford Stye makes the catch, and it's a ball and 2 strikes. This time it's deep left field. Back goes Gilliam to the wall, and Junior makes the catch. Got under it just a little bit. Redlegs go in order. Halfway home on a 45-degree day in town. Cincinnati 1, Brooklyn 1. And so the answer is Carlos May. And Jeremiah got it on the third guess, and as Vinny would say, Carlos May, born on May 17th, and his uniform number was 17, so he had May 17 on his back. And Jeremiah says, I'm all out of Mays, Willie. If you joined us late, here's how we got here. 1 run, 3 hits, no errors for the Reds. 1 run, 1 hit. And no errors for the Dodgers. Remember, Brooks Lawrence walked 3 in the first and only gave up a run, which came on a Rocky Nelson fielder's choice to make it 1-0 Brooklyn. And in the fourth, Kluszewski, a solo homer, as called by Jeremiah, was a bullfrog. How you doing, Triple G? To tie the ball game at 1. So Brooks Lawrence just out 1 hit. And he's walked 4 through 4. Magley, a 3-hitter through 5. And the home run, that's the lone run for them. Sal has walked 2 and struck out 5. Don Zimmer singled his first time up, or doubled his first time up, because I can read. That is past Temple into center field. So Zimmer is 2 for 2. For Magley, who is going to bunt here, Sal walked his first time up. So Kluszewski and Jablonski playing for the bunt. Magley will oblige. But Lawrence throws over, and they picked off Zimmer. So Lawrence just kind of kept an eye on Zimmer. And Zimmer got really careless and took too big of a lead, and they picked him off. Oh, Mr. Alston will not be a happy camper now. And Magley, with 1 out, is going to have to swing with nobody on. Goodness gracious. Buffy St. Marie pitched to Magley. Struck him out. That's the first for Lawrence. 2 out. So Lawrence, 18 batters, 63 pitches. 4 2/3, 2 hits. He's walked 4. The run is earned, and he struck out 1. Wasn't Jim Gilliam. He walked and scored in the first. My head's knocked out by, my Habs, yes. Thank you. We're going to lose to Washington in the first round. I will say this. I would have loved the Blue Jackets to have made it. This would have been the story because of the Goodrows and all that. But the signing of Martin St. Louis to be the head coach of the Canadiens a couple years ago was an absolute genius move. This is not a great team by any stretch, but they have gotten better all 3 years he's been there, and they're building something good. I'm not sure this is the year, although if Washington gets a 3-1 lead, we know how the Caps do with that historically. Pitch to Gilliam, and Jim draws the walk. So the 5th walk from Lawrence. Here's Robinson. Jackie 0 for 1 with a walk. That is in the center. Bell and Temple. It'll be Temple on the grass, and Johnny will make the catch, and that will do. There will be, it was a 1 hit. The Dodgers have left on 4 after 5, 1-1. There was a Don August. There are no other surnames. Yeah, Don August, I believe, pitched in, we had him in a replay. I think he pitched in 88. We had him last year. There were no other surnames with months other than May. It'll be Bell, Kluszewski, and Robinson to face Magley here in the 6th. Gus singled. He's 1 for 2. Fans were fired up last night, I'm sure. And Bell gets hit. Bell got rung. Got him in the ribs. So 1 on and nobody out for Kluszewski, who homered in the 4th his last time up. 1 for 2 today. Now is 13 on the season, and he's driven in 36. That is a base hit left center field. That will be fielded by Gilliam in the alley, and that he'll hold clue to a single. So first and second, nobody out for Robinson. Frank has walked and struck out. How you doing, AP? There is a ground ball to third. Jackson has it. They might get 2 out of this. Robinson for 1, Nelson for 2, and so Robinson grounds into and around the horn 5-4-3. 2 out for Bailey, who is 0 for 1 with a walk. Playoffs begin Saturday. Pitch to Bailey. In the left center, Snyder will make the catch, and that will retire the side. After 5.5, no runs, a hit. The Redlegs have left on 5, no errors. And it's Cincinnati 1, the Dodgers 1. So Snyder's sitting on a 10-game hitting streak. Nelson and Jackson to face Lawrence here in the 6th. Duke 0 for 1 with a walk. There is, now that streak's 11 because he rips it between Temple and Kluszewski in the right center. We're a single. You got another Battle of Ontario. The Leafs and the Senators. Somehow I think someone's going to channel their inner Bob Cole for that one. To call it. Rocky Nelson 0 for 2. Grounded into a fielder's choice to get that RBI in the first, a lone run for the Dodgers. AP completed a season replay of the New York Knicks. What season? Using player of the game from Downey. Good game. Which era of the Knicks? Pitch to Nelson. There's a chopper over the mound. Temple to McMillan, and that's all they're going to get is Snyder. Lawrence fielded it, beg your pardon. So it's a 1-4, but they don't turn the 2. Randy Jackson is 0 for 2. He has run it into a double play. 80-81. Okay. That's between eras. What made you want to do that one? And how they do. Pitch to Jackson. That's into right field. Post will come in. Waits. Makes the catch. And Nelson goes back. So, beautiful night here in Brooklyn, 78. Wind blowing out to right center at 6, if anybody can take advantage of it. Ferrillo 0 for 2. I looked and saw who the matchups were, but they all didn't stick with me. The Connor McDavids of the world will be facing the Kings in a first-round matchup out west between Edmonton and Los Angeles. And the Rangers, I think, are the first team to win the President's Trophy one year and not make the playoffs the next. That's nuts. Pitch to Ferrillo, 0 for 2. Struck him out. Lawrence got him, and we're through 6. No runs, a hit. The Dodgers have left on 5. We go to the 7th on a Thursday afternoon, 1-1. So Jablonski, McMillan, and Lawrence to face Magley here in the 7th. Ray 0 for 2 with a K. And he walked. Good start for the Reds here in the 7th. Cincinnati playing game 58. They are 31-26. The Dodgers are playing game 56. They are 37-18. McMillan is 0 for 2 today. He has struck out once. Jablonski on first. Ground ball to first. Nelson has to wait for it. He'll take it to the bag himself. Jablonski moves to second. And there's one out for the pitcher. Start of the Bird Magic era. Yeah, some curious Parallel League is also asking how the Knicks did. That's right in there in the Bernard King era. The actual record was 50-32. They were 48-34 for him. Nice. Lawrence 0 for 2. Pitch count wise, he is more than fine. Nelson and Jackson coming in. Struck him out. That's 6 for Sal. Brooks chased an off-speed pitch. 2 out for Temple. 1 for 3. Johnny has singled and struck out. Magley. I didn't realize the Knicks were that good that year. Magley, 115 pitches, 27 batters, 6 2/3, 4 hits, a home run. He's walked 3 and struck out 6. And he draws the walk. So first and second for Cincinnati here in the top of the 7th. Cincy has 4 hits, the Dodgers 3. Magley has walked 4. I think Lawrence has walked 5. Post. Toasty taste to you. 0 for 3 with a K. Popped up. The Yo Dog. Jackson waits. Makes the catch. Stretch time 1-1. It'll be Campanella, Zimmer, and we'll see. Magley pitch count-wise is fine, but the Dodgers in a 1-1 game here in the 7th could be pressed to go to their bench if they have runners on. So can't be 0 for 2. Lawrence has walked 5, as I thought, as we start the bottom of the 7th. Struck him out. That's 3 for Lawrence. Can't be looked at strike 3. An 87-mile-an-hour fastball. 1 out for Zimmer, who is singled and doubled today, 2 for 2. Got him. So Magley will bat. Lawrence is fan 2 in the inning. Zimmer chased a 2-2 fastball. 2 out. So Lawrence is fan 4. Magley has walked and struck out and bunted. He's 0 for 1. Maybe not. Yeah, walked, struck out. Yeah, there's a bunt in there. There's a ground ball to McMillan. Roy has time to autograph it. Throws to Kluszewski. And that will do. Through 7, Dodgers go in order. And we are knotted at 1 going into the 8th. So Bell, Kluszewski, and Robinson to face Magley here in the 8th. Gus 1 for 2 with a single. Center field, Snyder, 1 out. For Kluszewski, tied the game up for Jeremiah in the 4th. Ted also has a single. Now he's hit 13 on the year and driven in 36. That is into right center. Snyder running a long way. That's going way back and gone. Kluszewski hits his 2nd of the game, and the Redlegs go up 2-1. That wasn't gone by much. Snyder ran a long way for that one. That's in one of those nooks and crannies here at Ebbets Field that caught the spite fence out in right center. He hit that over the Van Heusen sign. And Kluszewski's going to get a big and tall suit or shirt, which hopefully he won't rip off the sleeves. That's just the 5th hit for the Redlegs. Here's Robinson. Sorry, Jeremiah, you don't get credit for the 2nd home run. Robinson 0 for 2. He has walked and struck out once. Magley rocks and fires. Struck him out. 7 for Sal as Frank chased a fastball for strike 3. Ed Bailey 0 for 2 with a walk. Parallel League's first basketball sim was Status Pro 77-78. Bullets over Sonics with Wes Unseld. Yep. Did you just do the finals? How'd you do that? And are you old enough to remember the Cincinnati Royals? I'm sure you're much more of a Cleveland Cavs fan. Pitch to Bailey. And Ed draws the walk. So Magley rubs up the baseball. One of those strange things that he was the last out of the 7th. Here's Jablonski, so you can't pitch hit for him. Ray has walked and struck out. He's 0 for 2. Campanella reminds Magley that, get out of this inning. Sal's delivery, and that is into left field. That will drop in front of Gilliam. Bailey on his way to 3rd. Is he going to try and score? No, throw goes into third. Jablonski holds with a single, 2 out for McMillan. And we'll go out to talk to Sal. Sandy Koufax starts the next game for the Dodgers. And then Drysdale on Sunday. I got Labine or Besant. The thing is, 226. No, it's Nuke. Or you could go with Sears' brother Ed here. Yeah, I think I'll do that. So pitching change, it'll be Ed Roebuck. This game coming to you from Ebbets Field in Brooklyn, New York. Roebuck is 25. His significant better-known partner, Sears, has a tower in Chicago, and Roebuck has a clam shack in Levittown. Fly ball pitcher, 89 miles an hour. He is 2-2 on the replay, making his 17th appearance in a 3.13 ERA. He hasn't pitched in 10 days. He faced the Cardinals on the 12th, an 11-8 win, 1 inning, 29 pitches, a hit, a walk, and 3 strikeouts. So overall for Ed, 23 innings, 18 hits, 9 runs, 8 earned. He's given up 4 home runs. He has walked 9 and struck out 17. He has faced the Reds a couple times and beat them on May 2nd. So McMillan on third. So 1-run game. Bailey on third. Jablonski on first. Never saw the Royals. Oh, Big O? Oh, absolutely. It's such an interesting era of basketball, the early 60s. But it's hard for me to play on the tabletop because, A, it was before I was born, and the foul rules are so different. You shoot so many foul shots. Pitch to McMillan. Roy grounds this one to third. Jackson has it. Goes across the way to Nelson. McMillan running, and he is out on a bang-banger. How about that? So Gramus will come into play third for Jablonski. We go to the bottom of the 8th. The Reds got a run on Red Legs, rather, a run on 2 hits and no errors, and they now lead it 2-1. So Gramus will play third. He's a 7 out there, and will bat 7th. So Jablonski is done. Top of the lineup for Brooklyn: Gilliam, Robinson, and Snyder. 27 batters deep for Lawrence. 95 pitches, 7 innings. He's now in line for win number 6. 3 hits, 5 walks, and 4 strikeouts, and the 1 run is earned, and that was in the first. So Lawrence walked the bases loaded in the first and only surrendered 1 run. They play for the bunt. We're not giving it to him. Bailey will make the catch as Gilliam hit that off the end of the... No, he dropped it! He hit that off the end of the bat, and Bailey dropped it out. Jim Gilliam goes back to the dugout, gets a piece of stationery his grandmother gave him, and writes Ed a very quick but thoughtful thank you note. Grounds this one to Temple. Johnny over to first for the out. So the error does not hurt. 1 out for Robinson. Jackie 0 for 2 with a walk. That is a base hit left center field. Over McMillan's head, Robinson cuts off the hit from Robinson. And the Dodgers had the tying run on. 1 out for Duke Snyder, who now has an 11-game hitting streak. 1 for 2 today with single and a walk. And so the partisan throng here in Brooklyn getting a bit nervous. These two teams have met 7 times. Then you can pretty much put a piece of paper between them to separate them. The Dodgers have won 4, including 3 of 5 here at Ebbets. And, no, I'm sorry. They've won 3 out of 5 in Brooklyn, or in Cincinnati. It's only the 3rd time they've played at Ebbets. Brooklyn has outscored the Redlegs 56-44. So Jackie on first, pitch to Snyder from Lawrence. Struck him out. That's huge. And 5 for Lawrence. He got him to chase a 2-2 splitter outside. Here's Rocky Nelson, who's 0 for 3 with an RBI. Parallel League says I was 8 and 72. Was that after you were abducted by the Grays? When the Royals moved and I was just getting into sports, and I remember that I had a Dolphins jersey, even though I never lived anywhere near Miami. Those early kids' jerseys you could find in the Sears catalog. Remember looking at those in the late 70s and early 80s as a Bengals fan in New England. And being happy when you either saw that awesome helmet with the word Bengals on it, those stripes, word, and those jerseys. Never got them, but they were there. Pitched and throw to first, and Jackie is back. Now, do I steal? No. So I think that was one of the first cases, was the Sears catalog, and I think the Penny's catalog had it too, where you could get out-of-market stuff no matter where you were in the country. Pitch to Nelson. Rocky grounds this one between Temple and Big Clue for a base hit. Post will grab it. Jackie on his way to third, and he is the tying run 90 feet away. For Randy Jackson, who's 0 for 3. Robinson on third, Nelson on first. Lawrence 1 out away from getting out of the jam. Here's the pitch. Popped up. Bailey. Is he going to have room? He doffs the mask. Robinson's on home plate, but Bailey will make the catch, and that will do. Dodgers threaten but do not score. No runs, 2 hits. They've left on 7, and the air doesn't hurt. We go to the 9th. Redlegs 2, Dodgers 1. So let's see what they do with Lawrence. Roebuck out to pitch the 9th. Lawrence, if he stays in, and pitch count-wise, he's fine, is 0 for 3 with a K. 2 runs, 6 hits, an error for Cincinnati, and they've left on 9. The Dodgers, a run on 5 hits, no errors, and they have left on 7. Lawrence stays and strikes out. Roebuck got him. 5-pitch strikeout, 1 away. For Johnny Temple, 1 for 3. He has singled, walked, and struck out. I remember I used to always order electric football teams painted by division from the Sears catalog. But did you ever complete a pass? Pitch to Temple. Left center, Snyder for the out. 2 out for Wally Post. Wally 0 for 4 with a K. It'll be Ferrillo, Campanella, Zimmer in the pitcher spot for the Dodgers in the 9th. Post struck him out. So Roebuck fans too. And the Redlegs go in order in the top of the 9th. No runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the bottom of the 9th here in Brooklyn, where there might be a tree growing or two. Cincinnati 2, Brooklyn 1. So Ferrillo, who was 0 for 3, he has struck out once, 1 to tie, and 2 to win. Nobody, Jamie says, completed a pass in electric football. And the kicker booted them so far you never found them again. Well, that's because you probably used the Super Jock kicker. I had one of those. Yeah, and slammed it on the head. I got cuts on my chin from that. And if you put that on your electric football table, that would have been the Pat Summerall edition. You could have only found those at your local True Value hardware stores. Pitch to Ferrillo. There's a fly ball, shallow right. Post moving over. Wally will make the catch, 1 out. For Campanella, who's 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Your guys always went on in circles. It's you can find anything on YouTube, and one of the things you can find on there is they still do electric football tournaments, and they actually do complete passes. I'm not sure how many new people are playing it, but it's out there. Pitch to Campy. Fly ball, left field. Robinson going back to the wall. Tie game! Campy hits a home run, and it's a 2-2 game. And that is indeed for Roy a Ballantine blast. Too much of the plate there. And Robinson just ran out of Brooklyn and couldn't make the play. So 2-2 the score. For Zimmer, who has had himself a day. He has singled and doubled. Both teams 2 runs, 6 hits. The Redlegs have an error. The Dodgers do not. Cincinnati has stranded 9, and the Dodgers have left on 7. Right field. Post. Eventually, 2 out. So Roebuck will come out. Who can hit a righty? And the answer is Sandy Amoros. If you remember, the last time that we had the Dodgers on, Amoros walked off the game with a walk-off walk, which is his lone pinch hit RBI. That 100 doesn't come from just being 1 for 10. Overall for Sandy, 275, 6 homers, and 24 RBI. Struck him out. Free baseball on this Thursday afternoon after 9. The solo home run from Roy Campanella, the lone hit. And after 9, it's the Redlegs 2, the Dodgers 2. I don't want to. So Amoros will not stay in the game. You're not going to remove Jim Gilliam. The lefty Bell is the batter. And Don Besant, or Besant, will come in to pitch. Don is 25, throws a fastball at 89. Bonus, Brucey bonus for you, Triple G. Fastball at 89, standard pitcher. Besant, who has been with the club since May 18th, making his 7th appearance of the replay. He is 1-1 with a 4.22 ERA. Named the Weasel. There's a helpful nickname for you. Hasn't pitched in 10 days. In an 11-8 win over the Cardinals, he went 2/3 of an inning on the 12th of June. 6 pitches and a strikeout. Overall, 10 2/3. 9 hits. 5 runs, all earned. The home run came against these Redlegs on May 18th, and they beat him. He's walked 2 and struck out 8. Bell, Klazuski, and Robinson to face Besant here in the 10th. And because we know we'll have a bottom of the 10th, it'll be Gilliam, Robinson, and Snyder. Gus 1 for 3 today with a single. Popped up. Randy Jackson into foul territory. Randy waits. Is he going to have room? 1 out for Klazuski. Jeremiah's pick of the day is homer twice. He now, in fact, tied this game, or gave Cincinnati a 2-1 lead. I'm sorry. Klazuski has also singled. He's 3 for 4. Now has 14 homers and 37 RBI. Besant deals. Right center field for Rillo in the alley. That's a 3rd home run for Big Clue. Oh, my word. He is clapping his hands around the bases. It's 3-2 Redlegs. I don't think I've ever had a 4 home run game. Klazuski, boy, Jeremiah called that one. And for all you do, that bottle of Zinfandel is for you. My word. That bounces off the fence and back onto the field. Cody, how are you? So Kluszewski, a 3-home run ball game. And the Redlegs take a 3-2 lead. All home runs. Cody says Kluszewski just wants to trot around the bases. Nothing above a jog for him. Nope. Here's Frank Robinson, who is 0 for 3. He has walked, struck out twice, and grounded into a double play. Strikes out again. So Frank takes his third strikeout. Here's Ed Bailey. He has walked twice and is 0 for 2. Jeremiah gets another oatmeal cranberry cookie. Bailey into right for Rillo. Will make the catch. We go to the bottom of the 10th. Redlegs get the 3rd home run of the day for Big Clue. He is 4 for 5, and we go to the bottom of the 10th. It is 3-2 Cincinnati. So Kluszewski has 4 of Cincinnati's 7 hits. All of Cincinnati's 3 runs. And he didn't even commit the error. So Gilliam, Robinson, and Snyder defeats Lawrence here in the 10th. So 36 batters for Lawrence. 126 pitches. 9 innings. 6 hits. The home run is Campanella's, and that came in the 9th. He has walked 5 and struck out 6. Gilliam has scored once, walked twice, and is 0 for 2. Center field, Bell, 1 out. So again, just like we had in the 9th, 1 to tie, 2 to win. Jackie Robinson is 1 for 3. He has singled and walked. Left center, Robinson to Robinson, 2 out. So last chance saloon is Duke Snyder. 1 for 3. He has singled, walked, and struck out. So Brooks Lawrence 1 out away from win number 6. Down the line and right. Post, waiting, nope. No, he got it. Reaches in, makes the catch, and the Redlegs beat the Dodgers 3-2. Baby, if you ever wondered, 2 hours and 45 fake minutes. The Redlegs go to 32-26, 3 runs, 7 hits, an error. And they leave on 9. All 3 runs, solo shots from our digitalized player of the game, Ted Kluszewski. 3 solo home runs. Earl Weaver and his Chesterfields are happy. The Dodgers fall to 37-19. 2 runs, 6 hits, no errors. They leave on 7. Brooks Lawrence is who the computer gave the MVP to. No. However, he does go to 6-3. 10 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, both earned. Campanella homer in the 9th. He walked 5 and struck out 6. Magley, 7 2/3. 6 hits, 2 runs. The solo shots from Kluszewski. He walked 5 and struck out 7. Roebuck retired all 4 men he faced. And Besant, despite the plus stuff, gave up the game winner to Kluszewski in the 10th. And so for the moment, the lead over Milwaukee is 1, and the Reds go 6 back. The rest of this Friday night, June 22nd, 1956 in baseball for you. Baltimore beats Detroit in 12, 5-4. Ferrazzi, 4-1. Larry, 4-8. Neiman, 3 for 6. Hits his first drives in 2. Despite Mike Garcia throwing 7 innings of 3-hit ball and striking out 6, Washington got 1 run and beat Cleveland 1-0. Stobbs gets the win 7-4. Orovitz 2 for 3. Robin Roberts, talk about hard luck. A 3-hitter over 8 innings and a walk and loses 1-0. Polsky goes to 5-5. Roberts 5-8. And Roberts even had a triple, I think. Giants beat the Braves 7-2. Ruben Gomez 4-5. Crone 4-4. And Bill White 2-for-4, hits a 7th and drives in 3. Dick Donovan shuts out the Yankees on a 3-hitter, strikes out 5. Goes to 7-3. Sturdivant falls to 2-2. Sherm Lawler 2-for-4, hits his first and drives in 2. And last but not least, the Red Sox better beat Kansas City 6-2. Sullivan a 10-game winner for Boston. Ditmar 6-9, and Klaus 2-for-4, hits his 4th. Yeah, that's crazy. Another Ohio victory. You're welcome. All right, next week. Monday, it'll be the Yankees and the White Sox. Grimm and Wilson. Wednesday, I got to pick a game here. We'll go Red Sox, White Sox. Sullivan and Donovan. That's a pretty good matchup. Let's see. I'll put that there. And then the third game, trying to think of who we have. No, we're not doing Cleveland. We'll do Milwaukee, Chicago. So, next week. Monday, Yankees, White Sox. Wednesday, Red Sox, White Sox. And Thursday, Braves, Cubs. That'll do it. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Ron Juckett. Enjoy your weekend, everybody. When is Stengel getting fired? As soon as he turns 70. You know how this works.